In the cold, clinical silence of the laboratory, the fundamental laws of biology have been quietly repealed. For 10,000 years, we lived with a comforting certainty that the dead stay dead. We viewed the fossil record as a sealed tomb, a library of failures that the Earth had long ago edited out of the narrative of life. We built our civilizations on the assumption that the apex predators of the Pleistocene were mere ghosts, frozen in the asphalt of history. But that certainty was an illusion. The vault of extinction has been breached. Today, the known world has ended. In a feat of scientific arrogance that challenges the very definition of life, the first pups of the direwolf Canis dirus have been born into the 21st century. This is not a story of conservation. This is a report on a biological breach. Welcome to Discovered. To understand the magnitude of this anomaly, one must first look at the tomb from which these shadows were summoned. The La Brea tar pits in California serve as a massive prehistoric crime scene. For millennia, these pits acted as a predatory trap, swallowing thousands of dire wolves in a suffocating embrace of liquid asphalt. Scientists have long treated these remains as curiosities, bones to be measured, teeth to be catalogued. But to the architects of de-extinction, these were not just fossils. They were encrypted blueprints. The announcement by colossal biosciences has sent a seismic shock through the global scientific community. By sequencing the ancient DNA recovered from these asphalt-preserved remains, researchers have performed a digital resurrection. But the data revealed a disturbing truth that the public was never prepared for. For decades, we assumed the direwolf was merely a larger, more aggressive cousin of the gray wolf. We were wrong. Genomic analysis published in the journal Nature proves that Canis dirus was a distinct lineage that split from other canids over 5 million years ago. They are not cousins to the wolves of today. They are evolutionary strangers. They are a biological other that has not walked this earth since the glaciers retreated. The process of bringing them back is not cloning in the traditional sense. It is something far more invasive. Using CRISPR-Cas9 as a molecular scalpel, scientists have reached into the genome of a living gray wolf and begun to systematically delete its identity. They are overwriting the present with the past. By replacing key genetic sequences with those of the extinct Canis dirus, they have created a functional proxy, a creature designed to look, hunt, and kill like a predator that hasn't seen the sun in 100 centuries. It is a biological forgery, a masterpiece of genetic engineering that wears the skin of a ghost. But why the direwolf? Why now? The official narrative speaks of restoring ecosystems and increasing biodiversity. They claim that by returning these apex predators to the wild, we can repair the fractures in the planetary engine. But this logic ignores the chilling reality of the Anthropocene. The world into which these creatures are being born is not the world they left. The Pleistocene was a sprawling wilderness of megafauna and glacial expanses. The modern world is a fragile, hyperconnected web of human infrastructure and collapsing habitats. The reintroduction of a bone-crushing predator into a modern ecosystem is not a restoration, it is a destabilization. The direwolf was an evolutionarily specialized killing machine, built with a bite force significantly higher than any living canid. Its physiology was designed to take down bison, horses, and ground sloths. When this engineered predator is inevitably released into our forests, it will not find its ancient prey. It will find our livestock, it will find our pets. It will find us. We are witnessing the birth of a new kind of ecological volatility. By playing God with the genetic code, we have triggered a black swan event in biology. The ecological niches of the modern world have settled into a delicate equilibrium over the last 10,000 years. Introducing a resurrected Pleistocene killer into this balance is like throwing a grenade into a clockwork mechanism. We risk a total collapse of local food chains, a cascading failure where the new apex predator consumes everything in its path until there is nothing left but the silence of a new extinction. But the danger is not merely ecological. It is pathologically dark. When we reach into the ancient past to pull a species back into the light, we are not just bringing back their bones and fur. We are potentially disturbing the microbial graveyard. Ancient viruses and prehistoric bacteria, dormant for millennia within the permafrost or the deep marrow of fossils, could find a new lease on life within these resurrected proxies. We are creating biological vessels for pathogens that the modern human immune system has never encountered. We are opening a biological Pandora's box, and we are doing so with our eyes closed. Furthermore, we must consider the psychological toll of this discovery. For the entirety of human history, the boundary between the living and the extinct was the only constant we could trust. It gave our lives a sense of linear progression. But the Antarctic virages of climate change and the genetic breaches of de-extinction prove that the Earth does not always change slowly. It changes in sudden, violent leaps. The normalcy bias tells us that because the natural order was stable yesterday, it will be stable tomorrow. But the cry of a dire wolf pup in a high-tech lab is a scream from the planeteer warning that the foundations are crumbling. History provides us with terrifying precedents for what happens when we meddle with the internal mechanisms of the planet. We view the Earth as a static vault, but it is a dynamic hyperpressure system. We are like ants crawling on the lid of a pressure cooker, admiring the golden steam of our technological progress, unaware that the lid is about to blow. To the planet, our attempt to resurrect the dead is a sign of a systemic failure. It represents a transition from a world of stability to an era of volatility, the Anthropocene, where the known is replaced by the unpredictable. There is a darker, more immediate threat rising from this research: the commodification of extinction. When life becomes something that can be manufactured, edited, and patented by corporations like colossal biosciences, it ceases to be sacred. We are entering an age where the Midas touch of capitalism is applied to the very essence of existence. If we can bring back the dire wolf today, what will we bring back tomorrow? The woolly mammoth, the thylacine, the Neanderthal. We are turning the earth into a forensic crime scene where the detectives are also the murderers, killing off the natural world only to replace it with a synthetic, high-performance imitation. The discovery of the resurrected wolf is a whisper from the abyss. It is the planet telling us that the vault is no longer secure. We have lived in a brief window of geological silence, a time when the dead stayed in their place and the living stayed in theirs. But that silence has been broken. The heat of our industrial-scale forces thawed the boundary between the was and the is. Every new genetic fissure, every successful de-extinction event, is a message from a depth we cannot comprehend. We must ask ourselves if we are prepared for a world where the oceans no longer follow the rules, and the forests are haunted by creatures that nature itself decided to discard. We are entering an age where the ground door, the ice beneath our feet, can no longer be trusted. The dire wolf is a mirror, reflecting our own fragility back at us. It is a silent witness to a planet in transition. A transition that does not include the comfort or safety of the human species. Geology operates on a scale of eons, but the catastrophic events that define those eons take only seconds in comparison. The engineering of these pups took only years, but its effects will be felt for generations. We are living through a moment of geological transition that our ancestors could never have imagined. And we are doing so with a terrifying lack of humility. The heat is rising. The lid is off. The abyss is looking back at us through the eyes of a creature that should not exist. We are no longer the masters of this planet. We are merely passengers on a vessel whose engine is failing and whose cargo is starting to wake up. Sleep well, knowing that the world you woke up in is not the same world you will leave behind. The floor is thinner than you think. The end is not coming from the stars. It is rising from the laboratory. The end is beneath you. If you are prepared to face the truths that the world chooses to ignore, stay with us. There are many more anomalies waiting to be unburied, and many more secrets the earth is beginning to reveal. Subscribe to Discovered and activate the notification bell. In a world of comfortable lies and scientific denial, we provide the cold, clinical evidence of reality. Do not miss our next investigation, where we will dive deeper into the fractures of our failing world. The direwolf has returned, and it is hungry. We have spent millennia mining the earth for its secrets, but now, the earth and the ghosts we've summoned are beginning to mine us. If the boundary between life and death is now just a variable in a corporate spreadsheet, what else have we forgotten to keep buried?